now, I just mostly go out and see consumers for like essential things, like food shopping, medication, and stuff like that. Whereas like before, I would see my consumers for literally everything.
Would you say are the types of mental illnesses that you're encountering most often?
Severe depression and schizophrenia, bipolar 1 and 2 disorders, around those spectrum.
What kind of steps are you taking to protect yourself, protect others, as far as when you are having to do those in-person visits?
In the car, I'll have my consumer sit in the back seat versus being in the passenger seat. And I always carry gloves. I have my hand sanitizer. I have a mask. And I even offer my consumers gloves too. Like I'll bring extra gloves from home just in case they want it.
How has this been affecting you personally? I mean, and how are you responding to all this?
It's tough. It is hard for me because, I don't live alone. So, I'm going out into the community and I'm working, and then I have to come home, and I'm always like worried, like, what if I was exposed? I don't know. So it has been a little bit tough, especially the past like 3 days where I've just been like, my spirit has just been like down. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. Because, you turn on the news, you go on social media, all you hear about is the deaths and all the people that's contracting the virus. And, so it is tough at the moment. Today's better than it was a few days ago, but, I really rely on my coworkers. I talk to them a lot. Management has been great. And I just try to focus on doing things for myself when I get home, so that way I'm not really thinking too much about it. Other than that, I've been trying to hang on.
Just even apart from this, are there any stories you can tell me about just anyone in particular that you either started working with and you saw significant progress, or anyone who maybe was stagnant for a while and then made a breakthrough? Can you tell me any stories about that?
Yeah, I definitely can. So I just started working with one consumer, maybe the beginning of March, I think. Yeah, probably. And she was homeless. She one of the shelters that she was living in closed down, so they had to discharge everybody. And so she came to us, and I took her on. So she was homeless, and social services couldn't really help her much because they referred her to a shelter that she didn't want to go to because she has a lot of physical challenges. So she would have to leave the shelter at a certain time and roam around the streets and with nowhere to go. And she was scared that she would relapse. So she didn't take that. So when I picked up her case and I took her to social services, they kept saying the same thing. It's, she denied housing from us, so we can't help her. So she was very lucky, and I'm very happy about this. She's like one of my success right now. About 2 weeks ago, I got a call from social services, and they're like, we can help her because of the pandemic that's going on. We are able to place her somewhere. So now she is placed somewhere in a boarding home, and she's doing great. She didn't have a job or anything. She was only receiving GA, and now she starts working at Target today.
Oh, look at that, huh?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a rare instance of like an opportunity that existed as a result of the pandemic, I guess, right? In something.
So she went to the interview. She got an email from the manager saying that they want to interview her, but she couldn't call him because her phone that she has doesn't really work very well. So I was scheduled to meet with her last week, and she's like, can you take me to Target so I can schedule an interview? I was like, sure. And they ended up interviewing her right then and there, which was great.
Let's say you weren't there. Your service wasn't there. You weren't able to help that individual. What do you think life would be looking like for her now?
Not so good.
Not
so good because she doesn't have that much family support. Well, they try to support her the best way they can. But with history of substance abuse, it's kind of hard for families to help out in certain areas. She has her son who helps her with like hotel fees and stuff, but to like live with her, it was not going to happen.
If I'm getting this correctly, it's history of substance abuse, serious mental illness, persistent mental illness, physical limitations as well, pain, and not many family members to turn to. So pretty much on her own, right? And homeless and unemployed up until now.
Right. Like, who would have thought? Like, somebody's getting a job during the pandemic. Like,
Oh, fantastic. Wonderful. That's great to
so
hear.
I'm very happy for her, and she's doing okay now. She's doing okay. She gets to stay at the boarding home. Social services said there's no end date right now, so she has a shelter over a roof over her head. So she's good.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time, Natasha.
No problem.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.